The first place Cardinals are riding high this season, but in the new MLB Power Rankings, are the Cardinals getting disrespected? Is the duo of Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado the best offensive tag team in baseball? We'll preview the upcoming series against the Rockies, and we know how the heroics of Albert Pujols on Sunday made us, the fans, feel. But what are Albert Pujols' teammates saying about the machine after his incredible performance? It's all on today's episode of Locked On Cardinals.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm JD Haffern. I'm a national radio sports anchor, born and raised in the Lou, lifetime Cardinals fan, and I am your host for Locked On Cardinals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day. You can follow me on Twitter. Would love to hear from you at JD Sports Radio. You can follow the podcast at LO_Cardinals. I want to thank those of you who make Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. We are free. We're available wherever you get podcasts. You can subscribe to it on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you find podcasts. You'll find Locked On Cardinals on YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment so you can interact with us. This is a show serving Cardinal Nation, giving the best fans in baseball all of the info about the birds on the bat. Well, we had a day off on Monday. I'm feeling refreshed. I got my Fredbird mug. We're ready to go. And then I saw the latest MLB Power Rankings, and I was like, whoa. Hold on a second. They got dropped on Monday. And these things aren't something I normally put a whole lot of stock into, but, it's kind of fun to see what people who aren't Cardinals fans like us think of not only the Cardinals, but other teams around the league. Now, in the latest rankings, the Cardinals come in at number 8. And when you do the math, which I'm not great at, I'll probably have to count on my fingers, but the last time I checked, there were 6 divisions, right? The Cardinals happen to be in first place in one of those 6 divisions. So wouldn't it make sense that they would be in the top 6 of the power rankings in baseball? Nope. Number 8. Is this disrespect? It got me thinking about it. Is this disrespect, or are the Cardinals right where they should be on this list? So let's delve into it. Here's what the writers at The Athletic had to say about the Cardinals being at number 8. Far be it from me to openly cheer for the Cardinals, one of the most success-blessed teams of the last 2 decades, but their series victory over the Brewers certainly was satisfying. There was Jordan Montgomery, a bold acquisition to shore up a clear need, taught 6 scoreless innings in Game 1. There were the Brewers, who instead of going for it, decided to get slightly worse at the deadline by shipping away closer Josh Hader, watching Hader's replacement surrender 2 dingers. Nothing against you, Taylor Rogers. You're just not Josh Hader. Now the Brewers trail the Cardinals by 1.5 games in the division and are in danger of missing the playoffs. Everything in that sounds pretty good, right? So who's above them? Who's above the Cardinals? The Cardinals are number 8. So who's on top ahead of these guys that warrants the Cardinals being put in the number 8 spot? Number 1, you've got the Dodgers. All right, no surprise there. They've been trouncing their opponents. They just had a 12-game winning streak snapped on Sunday, and then they just went out and won again on Monday. They did get some not-so-great news. Walker Buehler's season officially over. That's coming to an end. He's going to have elbow surgery. But it's not like they've really needed him. He's been out since June. Plus, they got Dustin May coming back from elbow surgery to fill that hole in the rotation. So no panic in L.A. New York Mets, number 2. They've won 8 of their last 10, including 2 of 3 from Philly over the weekend. But they've got a tough stretch coming up here. They're going to face the Braves for 4, then the Phillies again over the weekend, then the Yankees, although they're struggling, but it's still the Yankees. DeGrom looks incredible coming back from his injuries. He's been amazing. Scherzer, obviously, we all know how good Mad Max can be. Carrasco, Bassett, Walker. Great staff right there. Pete Alonso leads the NL in RBIs with 97. Francisco Lindor, he's been superb. Jeff McNeil hitting .315. Jeff McNeil, by the way, absolutely does not look like a ball player whatsoever. If you were to see Jeff McNeil walk on the street, you would think that he works at a coffee shop or something. You would have no idea, or the back of like a Schnucks or Deerbergs or something. Long hair just doesn't look like an athlete. hitting .315, third in the National League. They're a solid team. Number 3, the Houston Astros. They're 75-41, and I understand that. Justin Verlander leads the staff as he makes a bid for yet another Cy Young award. He's been incredible this year. You've got guys behind him in the pitching staff, though, that maybe you don't know all that well. Jose Urquidy, Framber Valdez, Luis Garcia, Christian Javier. Not the biggest names in the league, right? Offensively, Yordan Alvarez, he mashes second in the AL in home runs to Judge. Kyle Tucker, another solid hitter. They added Trey Mancini at the deadline. It's a solid squad, but they get to beat up on the AL West out there. So I don't know if they're the third best team in the league, but they do have 75 wins. The Yankees in at number 4, that's a team that started off so good. We've talked a lot about them since the Cardinals just played them. You knew there was going to be some sort of regression at some point. They've hit hard, rough times recently, losing 8 of their last 10. Carpenter's hurt. He's out. But if your season hindered on Matt Carpenter continuing at the pace he was hitting, then you're in trouble to begin with. They still don't have Stanton back. Aaron Judge running away with the AL MVP, but they're dropping hard and quickly. The bullpen's been rough. Not good right now for the Yankees. Atlanta Braves at number 5, the defending world champions, are nipping at the heels of the Mets in the NL East. They're 4.5 back as of today. They've got the first spot in the NL wild card. They're 71-46 on the year. Austin Riley, their third baseman, MVP caliber season right now, 30 bombs, 74 RBIs. You've got bats like Ronald Acuna Jr., Dansby Swanson, Matt Olson, Marcell Ozuna. Pitching has been recently not so great, although I love watching Spencer Strider do his thing. He's been super cool to watch, unless he's playing the Cardinals. But the mustache, the heat, I'm loving it. Number 6, San Diego Padres, 65-53. Now, here's a second-place team in their division. Granted, it's behind the Dodgers. They're third in the NL wild card. Who their record, would be ahead of the Cardinals in the division, but they make all of those moves. They get Soto, Bell, Hader, Drury. They've got Machado still. But a huge bomb drops on them this weekend when it's announced that Fernando Tatis Jr., who hadn't played yet this year because he got injured riding a motorcycle, has now been suspended 80 games for PEDs. The excuse, he was taking something for ringworm that he got because he got a bad haircut. Like, I don't even know what the hell that means. I've never had ringworm. Apparently it's a fungus thing, and I can see why you would need some sort of steroid to kind of fight the fungus, but you got to know better than that, even if that is the real reason. And it sounds ridiculous, but even if it is the real reason, you got to run that by your medical people with the Padres, okay? What are you doing? All you got to do is say, is this okay because I got ringworm, okay? Run it by them. And if they say, no, it has this ingredient on there that's bad, then don't take it. It's that freaking easy. And so people giving him a hard time for getting suspended for this. I don't care what his dad says. Fernando Tatis, who was fun while he was on the Cardinals. Remember, 2 grand slams, 1 inning. I'm sorry, but your kid's an idiot for making a mistake like this. He's an idiot for riding a motorcycle when he's as important as he is and is making as much money as he is from the San Diego Padres. These are reasons why he's getting a bad rep. And I don't feel sorry for him right now. He's making bonehead mistakes. Anyway, back to the Padres altogether. I'm sorry. It just gets me worked up when and I know he's the dad, but sometimes you just got to go, look, son, you got to get out there and take the heat. You screwed up. Anyway, they got a lot of talent on this team, even without Fernando Tatis Jr. They've been good all season. I'm jealous they got Soto, so I'm rooting against the Padres because I hate it when everybody gets everybody. And, the Cardinals, who we were hoping would grab a few people, although their moves have worked out, there's a part of me that's still jealous that they got Juan Soto. But all those guys are on the team now, 5-7, though, since the deadline. No reinforcements with Tatis Jr. coming their way, so they are what they are. We'll see if they can work things out. The Phillies coming in at number 7. They're in third place in the NL East. They're 64-51, second in the NL wild card, but they've won 13 of 16, 7 of their last 10. It's a team that underperformed for most of the year. The very beginning of the year, everybody was like, what's wrong with the Phillies? But they've caught fire recently, and the scary thing is they're doing all of this without Bryce Harper. He has not been on the team. They leapfrog the Cardinals in the power rankings, go from 9-7. The Blue Jays fall from 7-9. They've got Wheeler, Nola, Syndergaard now in the rotation. It's a strong team. The Phillies are good. Then you come to the Cardinals at number 8. Maybe if you didn't have that hiccup against Colorado last week, you'd see them above Philly, maybe even San Diego. They've got arguably the best hitting duo in baseball with Paul Goldschmidt, who really needs to be talked about more nationally. Like, seriously, the what he's doing this year is amazing, and it's not getting enough attention. He's second in OPS in all of baseball behind Aaron Judge. We know he's having an insane season. He leads the National League in hitting at 328. He's fourth in home runs with 28. He's second in RBIs at 89. He's tied for second in runs scored with 80. He's tied for fourth in walks. He has a WAR of 6, which is fourth best in baseball. And because we value defense in St. Louis, it's important to us as fans. He's made just one error this season. One error. He's having an unbelievable year. Seriously, people need to start talking about him nationally more. It's ridiculous that he's not getting the attention. Nolan Arenado also having an MVP caliber season. 297, which is 8th in the NL. 25 home runs, which is 7th. 73 RBIs, which is 8th. Defensively, we know how incredible he is. And with his combination of offense and defense, he's going to have a good WAR, 6.1, which is 3rd in the league behind Aaron Judge and Sandy Alcantara. So 2 of the top 3 leaders in WAR as far as offensive players are batting 3 and 4 in this lineup. That's something special. And it's starting to get attention from other people here on the Locked On Network. We were having a discussion yesterday where how disappointing is it if you have those 2 guys and you guys don't win a world championship? And I'm like, I mean, we're going to be bummed, but you can't win one with just 2 players. That's just not how it works. You need continued contributions from Edman, Carlson, Nootbaar, O'Neill, Gorman, DeYoung. Obviously, Pujols. You can see how this lineup could get dangerous really, really quick. Now, the staff additions of Montgomery and Quintana, they've been perfect so far. Just absolutely perfect. There's no complaints there whatsoever. We're still working on the consistency issues in the bullpen, but this team still hasn't seen it all come together at the same time yet. And if they do, I have no doubt they can be talked about as one of the top 6 teams in baseball. No doubt whatsoever. So, is putting them at number 8 right now disrespectful? I say no. It's about where they belong right now. But you have a chance to really go on a run here with 11 games in a row against teams that have a combined winning percentage of just .436. And it starts tonight with the Rockies. We'll preview that series next on Locked On Cardinals. Now, I'm one of those guys who, while watching a game, likes to snack on things. Guilty as charged. I get nervous. I chew my nails. I snack. And normally when you do that, you're grabbing for things that aren't so good for you. But now I've got something that fills my snack needs as well as fulfills my sweet tooth. It takes care of both. Those are the Built Bar Puffs. Now, if you haven't tried them yet, you're depriving yourself of one of life's greatest joys. They've got a new flavor, cookie dough. Cookie dough chunk puffs. They're ridiculously good. And they're covered in chocolate, for God's sakes. They have a light and chewy texture, real cookie dough chunks. And, of course, they're covered in the 100% real chocolate, which is the chef's kiss on top of it all. All of the joys of eating cookie dough without the hassle of making it. Plus, the kicker is it's healthy for you. Sign me up. Cookie dough chunk puffs, only 160 calories. They got a whopping 15 grams of protein in them. That's good. And what's great about Built in general, not just the puffs, but Built in general, all of their bars are made with collagen protein, which your body absorbs more efficiently and provides tons of health benefits. So you can eat something that tastes good and is also good for you. It's almost a combination like Goldenado, man. That's how good it is. You're going to love the new cookie dough chunk puff, whether you need a snack for your workout, your late night treat, just to grab a quick bite. Built is the perfect protein bar, and they taste better than a candy bar. That I can guarantee. Ditch the calories, the fat, and sugar. Grab yourself a Built Bar. Go to Built.com. Use the promo code LOCKEDON15. That way you can get 15% off your order. Saving you money. Use promo code LOCK15 today. So last week, the Cardinals went to Colorado, and they laid a fat, stinky turd in Denver. They lose 2 of 3 to the NL West bottom-dwelling Rockies. But I warned you. I warned you about how the Rockies are a different team at Coors Field. At home, they win. They got a winning record there, and they showed up against the Cardinals. Game 1, they blast Michaelis into oblivion. Game 2, the Cardinals get the win with Quintana. Looking great. Offense was clicking. You had big games from Arenado and Pujols. Game 3, Dakota Hudson pitches well enough to win, but the bullpen implodes. But now the Rockies got to come to Busch Stadium, where they have struggled, losing 7 straight and are 1-13 over the last 4 seasons. That's not good. That's not good at all. The Cardinals, on the other side of things, sport the 6th best home record in baseball. They're 37-21, while the Rockies, they got the second worst road record ahead of only Detroit. They're 18-36. They hit 238 away from Coors Field, while at home they lead the league at 285. So a much worse hitting team when they're on the road. The Cardinals, oddly enough, hit 253 both home and away. Like dead right on at 253 on both sides. Now, of course, you think the pitching staff will suffer more at Coors Field, right? Right? Well, the Rockies are tied for last in team ERA, 4.96 at home. It's Coors Field. You understand that. They're tied with the Cincinnati Reds, who play at Great American Ballpark, which is another super hitter-friendly place. Cardinals, by the way, at home, they're ranked 6th in team ERA, 3.29. Now, here's the odd stat. The Rockies' road ERA is actually worse than their home ERA. Their road ERA is 5.06, which is 28th ahead of only the Reds and the Nationals. So not only do they suck at home normally, they also suck on the road when it comes to pitching. So this is a series where you should sweep. I mean, I get sweeping any team in Major League Baseball can be difficult, no matter how bad they may be. But taking 2 of 3, as great as that would be, a sweep is what you got to go for here. That would be that sweet revenge for last week's shenanigans that this team should be striving for. I wouldn't settle for anything less. Like, you got to go after these guys. Now, tonight's game has the lefties again in a repeat matchup of last Wednesday's pitching matchup. You got Jose Quintana. He'll make his 3rd start for the Cardinals. Been great in the first 2. He'll be taking on Kyle Freeland for Colorado. Now, the Cards jumped on Freeman early in the last game last week against Freeland. They got 5 runs in the first. Last time out, ended up coasting to the win. 9-5 was the final score, but Rockies put up 3 at the very end of the game, made it seem closer than it was, but it wasn't. Righty dominant lineup should be expected for the Cardinals tonight, which means Pujols should be back in. And man, the way he's swinging it, I would assume he'll stay right there in the number 5 hole, right behind Arenado. Molina should be back in the lineup as well. He and Quintana have looked great together so far. So moving ahead to Wednesday's matchup, you got the righty German Marquez, who pitched really well against the Cardinals at Coors last week. He'll be going up against Jordan Montgomery for the Cardinals, who, again, has been phenomenal since coming over from the Yankees. Thursday, it'll be a day game. Adam Wainwright on the hill, coming off of his almost no-hit effort the last time out against the Brewers, and then the Cardinals end up losing that game in extra innings. But he looked great. They'll take on another righty in Antonio Senzatella. Now, I know Albert hasn't been great against the righties this year, but if he has another big game tonight, I'm riding out this hot streak. I'm not benching him against a right-hander just because it's a right-hander. Like, maybe one of these games he takes off just so you can get another lefty in there and make sure everybody's staying sharp. You know, maybe Dickerson gets to, I don't know, DH or something. I don't know. But I'm not taking Albert out of this lineup right now. He just, his energy and his charisma and everything about him, the lineup just plays better with him in it. Even if he does go 0-4, he still just adds that aura of something special could happen tonight. And speaking of number 5, we want to know what his teammates are saying about him after what he did on Sunday against Milwaukee. I mean, we know how us as the fans feel about everything that happened, but what did the guys in the locker room have to say about that? We'll find out next on Locked On Cardinals. BetOnline.net is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your betting needs. You can find all your favorite sports and events at the #1 online source for odds, lines, and games. Find reviews and news of every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, contact sports, esports, even golf. You've got the preseason football schedule, which is always more entertaining when you have a little money on the line and you can make some dough. You can make some money off of this. BetOnline continues to be the top online source for all your sports wagering information, from live in-game betting, scores, and podcasts. They have you covered. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to learn more about the action happening today. BetOnline, where the game starts. John Denton put a piece together on MLB.com. Now, John is a really good follow on Twitter. So if you want to give him a follow, do so at John Denton 555. And he kind of, was talking about how special the game was on Sunday for Albert Pujols, but also how special that game was and what it meant to his teammates. So he got some bits and pieces of players' reactions to this monster game on Sunday by the future Hall of Famer Albert Pujols. He hits 2 shots, 688th and 689th of his storied career. That second one, a mammoth 443-foot blast. Gave the Cardinals a little bit of breathing room over the Brewers, opened up a 4-run lead. They ended up needing his home run in the end because Rowdy Tellez hits a home run in the 9th off Helsley. They win the game, though, 6-3. It was just one of those amazing moments that it had like grown men weeping with joy. Families are high-fiving in the stands. Even the professional ball players who do this for a living were amazed at what they saw. So here's some of the things that John got from the clubhouse afterwards. Miles Michaelis, who had thrown an outstanding game on Sunday, and he looked like a freaking kid after the home runs in the 8th inning after Carlson's and then Pujols. Here's what he had to say. You've got guys in the dugout getting goosebumps. It's such a special career, and to see him doing it, it's incredible. That's how you go into the Hall of Fame. He doesn't take anything for granted. Even in his last season, he's always trying to get better. He's not coasting into the Hall of Fame. He's going to kick down that door and have a nice plaque up in there somewhere. Yadier Molina, Pujols' closest friend in baseball, who threw water in his face during the on-field TV interview afterwards, was which was kind of funny to see. I mean, isn't it great seeing these old guys? I mean, you call them old because they're old for ball players, but seeing these guys just having a blast and acting like kids again, and they're winning. Because some people were giving them a hard time that they were goofing off too much in the dugout while the team wasn't exactly playing its best baseball. But now when they're winning and doing it, it's beautiful. Anyway, here's what Molina had to say. He said, this is something he's always done, and he's still able to do it. I'm not surprised. Dylan Carlson. He was one of my favorite players growing up as a kid, and for him to be my teammate now and pass along his experience to me, it's something I really cherish. He's a legend. Now, when Albert was asked about these moments and if he's surprised by them, he said, no, this is what I expect of myself. I'm telling you, I feel like I can still play this game, and if I couldn't, I wouldn't still be here. When you put in the work and with the blessing of the Lord, you're going to have success, and that's what I'm feeling. Now, with his recent hot streak, would Albert come back? Because he started to think about it a little bit because some people want him to. I've had plenty of comments on YouTube, on Twitter, saying they think he should come back. You know, if he falls short of either passing A-Rod or short of getting to 700 home runs, that he should come back for another year, but doesn't appear like that's going to happen. Albert said this when he was asked if he'd consider another year. Where I'll be in 2023 is here, watching some of these guys play from the stands. I really don't think about coming back. This is it for me. I'm going to take a little break. Cherish him while we got him. Cardinals fans, cherish him while we got him. Should be in the lineup tonight, so hopefully we can get another big game out of number 5 because it sure is a lot of fun watching him hit for the Cardinals again. So back in the lineup, probably the lefty Freeland on the mound. First pitch set for 6:45 Central tonight at Busch Stadium. Thanks again for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen. Now make your second listen, the Locked On MLB podcast. MLB expert Paul Francis Sullivan brings humor, passion, and unique perspective on every team and the biggest stories around the league. Follow the #1 daily league-wide podcast, Locked On MLB, on the Odyssey app, YouTube, and wherever you get podcasts. Once again, I'm JD Haffer, and thanks for hanging with me. When it comes to the YouTube videos and the page, love the comments down below. We're starting to get a little bit of a community down there, so let's keep it going, man. Whether it's good stuff or you have questions, anything like that, I'm more than happy to respond to everybody. So I do my best to get to all of them. So keep them coming. You're a part of this show. Understand that as a listener, as a viewer on YouTube, you are a part of this show. So hit us up on Twitter, LO_Cardinals on Twitter. You can always find me at JD Sports Radio on Twitter as well. On the YouTube page, drop your comments. We've got an email, lockedoncardinals@gmail.com, which you can respond to us there as well. So any of these ways, please interact with us. We love hearing from you. You're the best fans in baseball for a reason. We'll see you next time right here on Locked On Cardinals.